Hi there. If you didn't see the title of this video, I will be talking about animal abuse. So if that's something that makes you uncomfortable, make sure to click off now. Although nothing is shown explicitly, I do talk about it, and I do talk about a few instances where I have seen animal abuse within the community. So, yeah. Enjoy the video. Bye-bye. For a community who quite literally identifies as animals and who are very in touch with animalistic behaviors, there is a massive issue with animal abuse within the community. Now, this isn't about anybody in specific, but I may allude to certain creators subconsciously. So don't go attacking anybody for this. This is just solely to bring awareness to the situation. Everywhere I look, I see morbidly obese dogs and cats, and it makes me sad, because it's easier to get your dog to a slim, healthy weight than to feed them so much every day to the point that they are in pain constantly. Your working dog, your Border Collie, your Australian Shepherd, your Bernese Mountain Dog, your Great Pyrenees, and your Heeler, they do not need to be that big. They are not lazy. It's because you overfeed them. They do not need to be cylindrical. They need to be fit because they are working dogs. They want to work. And you not feeding them the proper amount of food, you feeding them way too much to the point that they can't work, is abuse. Whether you like it or not, you are abusing your dog. And so many creators, it is so upsetting seeing these poor dogs getting abused without their handler could love them, their owners could love them very much, but they don't show it because you overfeed your dogs. Anyways, now that's not the only form of abuse that I've seen. There is this one creator in specific that they have a poodle mix, definitely not mixed with the Bernese Mountain Dog only, but whatever. I followed them for a little bit. They have a service dog. This is the dog that I'm talking about. And I've looked at their stories, and I constantly see them jerking them around and kicking them even, which is very just mind-blowing because that is the animal keeping you alive. That animal is keeping you alive. Why do you find the need to hurt it? Now, I am very much pro-prong and pro-e-collar. Every tool that you use can be used in an abusive manner. And if you're going to use those tools, use them properly. This person that I'm talking about was not using those properly. She was constantly tugging on the prong and just hurting the poor dog. Now, that in its own is a massive issue. Another part of the abuse section, this is a very gray area as it is based. This is going to be talking about the unethical breeding and people buying and identifying with backyard bred terms and buying from backyard breeders. So this is, like I said, it's a gray area when coming to abuse. Now, this is less of a issue, but I have seen a lot of creators, some the same creators who are abusing their dogs, identify with terminology that backyard breeders use, like doodle and Shepsky and cockapoo or whatever. Now, like I said, this is less of an issue, but whether you like it or not, you are promoting these breeds. You're promoting people to look them up, find breeders, and sometimes even get people to buy them. And that's not okay. These dogs are being bred for money, not to be healthy, not because they're a good example of what their breed should be, because doodles and Shepskys and all that, they don't have a breed standard. So anybody who is breeding these dogs is breeding solely because they're greedy little fuckers. Whether they like it or not, whether they want to admit it or not, that's the only reason why they are breeding these dogs. It pisses me off that people just refuse to learn anything about dogs. As you can see, I love dogs. I have countless dogs. I have had countless dogs. I have done my own training, and I have done endless amounts of research about dogs. Now, this isn't me saying that you should know everything about dogs if you're going to own one. Well, you probably should know a lot if you're going to own one. But if you're going to identify as a dog, if you're going to use that term to identify yourself, if you're going to identify as a dog therian, you should go out of your way to learn this stuff as to not spread misinformation. For example, I have seen a few people saying they identify with a Doberman, but then using a picture, like, say, a Beauceron to describe themselves. They look the same, sometimes, but they're not the same breed. On to cats now. This part genuinely pisses me off. I hate people who are this, or act like this, and it's so easy to learn. No, your color point cat is not a Siamese. Just because they have the same coloring, it does not make them that breed. A very massive majority of cats are Moggies, or domestic short hair and domestic long hairs. A very small amount of cats are actually breeds. So no, you do not have a Siamese if it does not have any documented pedigree. You have a domestic short hair. Tabby, calico, and all that, tuxedo, those aren't breeds, those are colors, and it baffles me that people don't know this. So, that's pretty much, I know I went on a little bit of a tangent. As I said, this video was going to be talking about the prevalence in animal abuse, which, in my opinion, not knowing anything about your pet is considered animal abuse, because you are going out of your way not to learn. You are willfully ignorant about how to take care of your animal. I feel very strongly about this subject, as I have always loved animals, especially dogs. I have always loved animals. I've had animals my entire life. Now, if you were to take anything from this video, take that you need to learn about dogs and cats and all the animals if you actually care about them. If you actually care about animals, you will learn. I don't care if it's too hard, it'll take too long. If you want to own these animals, learn about them. Learn how to keep them fit, learn how to feed them, learn how to train them. Because an untrained dog and an overweight dog are abused dogs. If your dog isn't fulfilled properly, it is an abused dog. If your cat isn't fit, if it isn't skinny to an extent, there's an extent, it shouldn't be emaciated. But if your cat, your dog, or your dog aren't slim to their perfect weight, which depends on your breed, or the breeds that are in your mat, depends on how big they should be. But if you don't want to learn about your dog, and you don't want to know how to keep them entertained, how to fulfill them, and how to keep them slim, you shouldn't own dogs. Because if you're not going to do that, you are abusing them. So, now, a little bit from the breeder bit, I am in no way an adopt, don't shop person. I want to buy dogs. I want to buy purebred, well-bred dogs whenever I'm older. I want a poodle, a standard poodle. I want a Hungarian Moody. I want a Sheltie. And I want a rough or smooth collie. And I want a Havawart. The only way that I'm able to get these is because of the ethical breeders within our community. Meaning dog community, not the alterhuman community. Although those do intertwine a bit. So, like I said, I have very strong feelings about this. And that's pretty much all. As I said, I did go on a bit of a tangent. That is, yeah. I'll see you in the next one.